Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today I want to give you more insight in how I am combining the European Western harmony with the Turkish Maqam and the microtones. And there's a kind of a general concept I have, and there's also a PDF for that lesson. Just go down in the description below. There you find like there are like five pages this time, with all the possible different tetra or like pentachords which we find in the Western music, but also in the Turkish classical music, and they are compared there. But we will go to that very soon here. You may ask a little bit, maybe, I don't know, why Turkish music? Why the Turkish tonal system? Why dealing with that? Or you may ask yourself, why should I have to deal with that? Or why that could be valuable or necessary in some kind of a way. What I really found out in my studies, and also in this comparison with the harmonic series, and in my the music I listened to, I analyzed, I played, and I was busy quite some years now, more than 20 years actually, also with the Turkish classical music. And one reason for that is, of course, that I like that music a lot. Yeah, like if a Turkish, like a taksim is played, this improvisation, I like that a lot. But there's another thing which is not only about, I think, about taste. It goes deeper. It goes further in a way. This tonal system of dividing the octave into 53 equal parts is, I think, it's the most satisfying and strong system there is. I mean, what we can think of to have a kind of a balance between music and practicability. So that's still like practical in a way, that we are not dealing with 3,526 different divisions, microtones in the octave or something like that. You know, it's really. And we talked about that also when we talked about the tonal system. But you have to check out that. You have to check out how this 53 equal temperament is actually a meeting point of the Pythagorean tuning, stacking up perfect fifths, pure perfect fifths. The Western harmony, which is just a compromise in a way of that, where the Turkish music is not compromising. Yeah. And also there is, for example, this called Reinharmonium. So it's a harmonium which a German or a guy from Austria or Switzerland, I don't know, he constructed that many years ago, and this was actually meant for for giving like orchestras, European classical or also romantic or impressionism music, give them a tool how to have like a perfect intonation for these very complex harmonic structures. And this harmonium is just tuned into these 53 equal division of the octave, and so you are able to play all these pure intervals, major thirds, perfect fifths from any of those degrees. And but one thing, I mean, this is also like you can think of that in a mathematical way, but for me, like one of the main pros, you can say, is my own experience, my own ears. And not only my own ears, but I can make these kind of experiments with all kinds of people, and they will understand that, mostly. There are a few exceptions, I found out. And that is, when my experience was, when I had lessons from Nuri Karademirli, this great oud master, lived here in Berlin when I was studying at the Turkish Conservatory of Music. He played these microtones, these intonations of these different maqams, Pentachord and taksim and everything, and it was so touching directly for me. And then when he showed me the different intonations of the different notes, a little bit flatter, a little bit more sharp, I heard that like kind of immediately. I had a hard time to get that myself on the guitar, but when I got the right note, and also he said, yeah, that's right, that's the right note. I also felt it. That's the right note. That's the right note. And then when we went into comparison of like the 12-tone equal temperament also and the Turkish tonal system, and compare like the major third, the major second, the minor seconds, different versions, we really felt the same way actually. It's really like, and that's really the strange thing. It's not about me here. I don't want to talk actually about me. I want to talk about the system, tonal system, because when I have like other people, other musicians or other students or also non-musicians even sometimes, I show them these different intonations. Most of all the times they click in directly. They can really appreciate these intonations, and when I then show them the 12-tone equal temperament, like it's played on the piano, they would immediately think, that's Then it has to get a little bit of time. It's needed to get again adjusted to the 12-tone equal temperament. I'm not saying anything against this 12-tone equal temperament. It's like this invention is in a way like it's incredible in a way to invent that kind of a thing. Such a simple, naive, you could almost say naive system of just 12 notes, but what you can do with that, and this reduction actually makes all things available, like polyphony, chords, and everything, and functions in that context. But this extremely short time, an ear which only all the time had this 12-tone equal temperament, and all this Western music, classical music, pop music, whatever. And I just play these little different intonations of the Turkish classical music system, and the ear immediately gets adjusted to that and can appreciate that, and then even think the 12-tone equal temperament notes are a little bit strange, or not so nice maybe, or not so round, or whatever, just a little bit too much spice, or like that. This really is like a proof how deeply that system is in nature, you can see, or maybe in our nature, whatever. I mean, because most of the people, they never heard these tones, or never, or always said, oh, that's like wrong intonation. But when they take a little bit of time, just a very little bit, like 5 seconds, then they understand. Then they are there. And then, yeah, so this, I mean, that I think that shows everything, that tells everything. I think really. And okay, so this was a little bit of a talk on the like a kind of a natural law, the deeper value or connection to nature, whatever, of this Turkish 53 note equal temperament. Now, so that's one thing. You learn what you learn from the Turkish classical music. What you learn is that you can actually improve certain intonations, and directly concerning European classical music. So directly, for example, you can say, okay, when I have a major scale, yeah, the most simple example. Now, by lowering the 3rd and the 7th degree just a little bit, more into the direction of the Turkish tonal system, will sound. Okay, that's different, huh? You heard that. I mean, I'm assuming that you already are really into that stuff. It's not your first video here, maybe on Guitar Academia. So we talked about that a lot, and really into detail and depth. And you really have a great foundation of this Turkish classical music here on this channel already. It's everything is there. Yeah, so it's just about when you really want to go into that and you want to really play this Turkish classical music. Of course, there's more needed, and also you have to listen to that music a lot and so on. All right, so we can learn directly these different about different intonations of the scales and notes we have in our 12-tone equal temperament. So directly we know. Okay, we have the major scale, but there are actually in the Turkish classical music, there are 2 other tetrapentachords, charga and rast, which are like very kind of similar, same, whatever, how far you want to go with that, to the 12-tone equal temperament major scale. So you can just check those tetrapentachords for intonation. Yeah, you have a piece which is, for example, in E major, and then you have like 2-3 pages there where you have, and that's one of the main things here also in that lesson. I have to explain you that. There you have 3 pages with all possible tetrapentachords of our 33 regular scales. We talked about this. We had some like 3 very simple rules how we can construct scales so that we always come up with a kind of a not so far out, not so exotic sound in relation to the Western harmony, to the Western scales and church modes and so on. And we come up with 33, which is already a lot and also includes the three symmetric scales. So all the possible tetrapentachords are on those pages, and it's always assigned the sources. Yeah. For example, the major, the pentachord of major, yeah, whole step, half step, whole step. You find in the major scale on the first degree, in the major scale of the fifth degree, in the harmonic major scale on the first degree, and in the melodic minor scale on the fifth degree. Yeah, that's something you. It's written there. So all the sources of those scales are there, and then you also have below each of these 12-tone equal temperament pentachords, if there exists a kind of a similar tetrapentachord in the Turkish classical music, then it's listed below those scales, so that you immediately can see, okay, there in the first row I have like, okay, that's a major pentachord. It's all starting from C, just because normally we transpose everything to E here on this channel, Guitar Academia, guitar. But in this case, I stick to C because that's much more easy to compare all these different possible pentachords, and so no accidentals means just like the major or perfect intervals from the root, so natural notes. So it's just much easier to very quickly understand and see. Okay, and then you have these directly under this major pentachord, you see, okay, charga and rust. And then you see the whole pentachord again, but under the notes, which are actually changed, yeah, in charga not much, but still it's always assigned there. But in rust there are some drastic changes of the major third. You always see this little number, plus or minus, and that's a cent. That means cent. You see, rust is a Turkish classical music version of major, and its third, yeah, the differences are, the third is 15 cent lower, the major second is 4 cent higher, and the perfect fourth is 2 cent lower, and the perfect fifth is 2 cent higher. So these are the little smaller and bigger differences of intonation. So once you are busy with, for example, with a major pentachord, you just play with that. You can take a look at that page, and then you see, rust is interesting. Rust has some differences, and you can just go and check that scale for all these different variations there. Yeah, you go there and check, okay, I try now to have my lowered major third, or a bit higher, bit higher major second, a lower major third. Fourth, maybe a little higher perfect fifth. These, when the number is very, very small, and I would say when the number is smaller than 4, yeah, let's say like that, smaller than 4 cent. 4 cent gives us a little idea about which tendency this intonation maybe works a little nicer. Yeah, if I know, okay, 4 cent for this note, I can just give it a little vibrato, for example, a little andolan or something like that, to bend it just a little bit, or let the gravity of the arm let it fall a little. This kind of a thing, yeah. Then that's interesting actually, and that makes sense. But once you have these perfect fourths and perfect fifths, which are always just these minus or plus 2 cent, you can just ignore that, yeah. And it's also because, I mean, you can listen for that and you can try to have an extremely great intonation. Just go for that and try to have a real pure perfect fifth or real pure perfect fourth. But the problem is that the tuning in itself, the intonation of the guitar in itself is not perfect. I mean, it also depends how much you press, how strong you are pressing the note, and I mean whatever. There are so many little things, which can just change the intonation a little. And like the strings are a bit older, or you just had like some some slides or bendings, and so the intonation is lost a little anyway. So yeah. So a 2 you can definitely ignore. Yeah? It's just good to know that. It's just good to know that even our perfect fifths and fourths are not pure, yeah, in our tuning system. That's also why this harmonic, to tune with harmonics, is a little not so good because there you actually you ignore that you're actually creating these pure intervals, and then the whole thing it's not the best way to tune your guitar anyway. Okay, so that's a great thing with these pages. They're really like a reference. You have a certain tetrapentachord you have in your like European classical music or Western harmony, just a pop song or some improvisation on your guitar, and then you are on a certain, you take a certain element, what you have there, a certain pentachord, a certain scale, and can just check it for microtones. And so there are 2 things where you can actually like benefit with that, or two doors will get open for you. One door we talked already about that, yes. So that you have like different intonations, different ways, or different like hints. Like the sheet hints at the major third. Try to play me a little lower. This would be maybe really, really nice. Gives you really a nice feeling. Yeah, so, and then you go there and then you do that and think, oh yeah, okay. No, right. Beautiful. Yeah, so it really saves you a lot of time of experimentations of all the different possible intonations of all the notes. So it's not useful actually to do that, I think. All right, then once you found that, once you, for example, once I hear that actually Rust in that context where I am just playing my 12-tone equal temperament, Western harmony things, and Rust works really well in that context, this opens another door. This opens the door to the Turkish Maqam. And what do I mean with that? It's not that now you open the door and now you have to play the Turkish Maqam very well. No? That's not it. It's about giving you another whole set Often it's a whole set. Sometimes it's not very much, but it's always something. What actually Rust typically is doing in the Turkish Maqam. So how it extends for the whole octave, or what kind of other plateaus, other temporary roots does it show? And so let's take an example here. I'm just thinking of an example. There's so many possibilities, of course. Okay, let's try something. Let's take E minor. So I'm thinking I show you this approach. I show you this approach step by step, so that you really understand what's happening here and why these pages are really valuable for that. Okay, I'm in E minor. I'm just thinking E minor, and I play my European Western harmony progressions in the way I enjoy that, also in a more linear way, maybe. So. So, what I just played, yeah, when I look at that, I play the dominant. I play the dominant in E minor. I'm still European classical music, completely. Dominant in E minor. And what's really nice in this dominant in E minor is this flat 9 sound. Yeah, you have a dominant 7th chord with a flat 9. And this is really associated with E harmonic minor. Used really frequently in all kinds of. Johann Sebastian Bach, for example, uses this a lot to play it often like okay, I'm sure you know that sound. So. It's the scale from B would be harmonic minor 5th mode. Yeah, E harmonic minor, but starting from B. There are different other names also. I thought a lot about that, and I stick to harmonic minor 5th mode. Okay, so it's that. If I just take the pentachord, and that's sufficient here also. Then I take a look at my page there. And on the second page, where is it? Yeah, of course. On the second page, there's harmonic minor 5th mode. And that's just that scale, of course, on these pages starting from C. But what I see there is that this equals Hijaz. Hijaz pentachord. Yeah? And Hijaz means actually just the same. But difference, huh? I like this sound. I can play that in the context of works very good. Yeah, you heard this kind of a more softer, emotional, more warm. I don't know. It's hard to describe that. But this other version of that chord, yeah, or of that pentachord. This goes really together. Of course, I play it in a very melodic way, but still, you can also experiment with different intonations in the context of a chord. But yeah, then the whole thing becomes a little bit different. Of course, also it's not so easy to on the guitar to have just some notes played a little bit sharp or flat while playing the other. I mean, it's like very challenging, and the question is how useful that will be. But anyway, that's a different story. Okay, so that's one thing, and I can just stop there. I can just stop there and think, okay, I got everything I need. I like the sound, and it's beautiful. So I know, okay, I can when I'm in E minor, I can use this Hüjas intonation instead of the harmonic minor fifth mode pentachord intonation on the dominant, on the B. Okay, but there are other possibilities too, and that's now the other. Now it goes into that other door I was talking about. What is Hüjas actually doing when we have a Maqam Hüjas? Yeah. So what is Hüjas doing? And there are different ways. And one way maybe that's just thinking in which direction to go, because when we talked about Hüjas, the lesson on the Maqam Hüjas, there we see a lot of doors, a lot of possibilities. How this little pentachord or tetrachord can develop or can progress like very naturally, very easy. Which kind of doors are like in Turkish classical music? Which doors are open now that when you show this Hüjas pentachord? So let's go maybe more into a more maybe exotic, maybe for Western ears, more exotic thing. We have these. If we say Hüjas, we have actually like four main possibilities. We have Hüjas as a kind of natural or easy, simple. Most common thing. Then we have Uzal, then we have Humayun, and then we have Sirgüli Hüjas. And Sirgüli Hüjas is something we want to check out now. Sirgüli Hüjas has actually a Hüjas pentachord and another Hüjas from F sharp tetrachord. Of course, intonation would be yeah, and so that's actually the door which is Sirguli Hijas is opening. And I'm deliberately choosing that Sirguli Hijas because it's really not it's something what is definitely not really used in classical music or in that context of tonal harmony or something like that. That is really like, it's really different. Of course, I'm not saying it's never used, of course not, but it's not like a common thing at all. Okay, so I show you what happens now. So what I can do now, or what kind of music will be created if I'm now considering like also, because this is new. Actually, this A sharp is new. Yeah, I would not have thought about A sharp. Maybe also only as a kind of a secondary dominant of F sharp going to the dominant. And maybe there you also already see also some other. Actually, now that's also interesting because you go into the Turkish Maqam, you see a certain pentachord, and then you see what this pentachord is usually doing, how is it extending to form a whole scale, or like how is it behaving in practical music, and then you see that, and then you can also again take that and bring it back and analyze that again in the European harmony, classical music, and that's really interesting. For example, with that, it's this tetrachord is just like a also this harmonic minor fifth mode thing in a way, not completely because it's just the tetrachord which is functioning here, but it's like it's very connected, extremely connected to the secondary dominant of the dominant, to F sharp dominant 7. In this case, with a flat 9, what is kind of it's not so. No, it's not unusual. In this case, it's in E minor. We are in E minor, so G is the more natural choice, maybe also here. Okay, so let's I show you a little bit what I mean. First I will show you this E minor tonality, which is more traditional European classical thing. Okay, that was just a brief example, and you heard that suddenly this color, and then I was played this D, C, B, and A, so I cancelled out that color, yeah, and come back to this European more traditional language. Yeah, so I can show these colors, which are maybe a little bit more foreign, a little bit more exotic, different intonations, but I can still be in the context of the E minor tonality concerning the classical European Western harmony in music. Let me do that again. Okay, you heard that, you got this idea, and of course, when I play that now, I also hear that it's really connected to the secondary dominant of the dominant, but it's still something else, you know, and also this maybe you would not really do when you are in classical music, but it's once you understand that these different intonations and how these different tetra and pentachords are really also connected with the language and with the scales and excerpts of scales of the European classical music, you you can just in a way you can just get a much richer spectrum or palette of colors you can choose from, yeah, to make this whole thing much more interesting. And that's now we come to a kind of interesting thing here also. There is this approach of, or this idea of modulating to all kinds of different keys in a very short time, or to have this approach like in jazz, where you just like you take a 2/5 or 2/5/1 and you just do that in all kinds of keys and without any warning. You are there and then you are there and then you show this color and then you expect that, but that color comes, and that is a kind of an beautiful thing, where also our 12-tone equal temperament is in a way it's made for, you can say. My approach is a little different in a way. I like more to have these colors in these different other kind of tonalities or like plateaus. Showing like these different like Rust, Hijas, or like some raga intonations, or to get more that kind of a richness and maybe also depth of like intonations, but at the same time reducing myself to be very, very clear in my key. To be really now what I showed you, like E minor, to be really in E minor. It's a little bit also this combination with raga music, you can say. The tonality, the E, is the Sa is always E in a way. You always come back to it. You always refer to this is your root, this is your root. And then you take like journeys there and there and there and there, which of course go much more far away if you compare that with raga. It's really like chord progressions, or it's like these different plateau progressions of tetra pentachords in the Turkish classical music, very much related. And then you go through these different colors and show like tension, release, and show maybe highlight a certain other secondary tonic or like a different tonality here and there, but really not to go too far. Be really careful with that you in a way don't lose your feeling of home base, which is the resolution at the end and in between always to E. Yeah, that's your tonal center. So the gravitation, in a way you keep the whole gravitational forces more intact. Yes, so you don't say, oh, now I'm in E, now I'm in G major, now I'm in C major, and you will have you completely forgot that E minor tonality. And I enjoy actually to not forget that, or to be really conscious about how this other kind of tonality is also working in the E minor tonality. So, for example, one good example would be if I go to C major, yeah, in E minor, I will not go to G7. Get this feel of okay, now we are in C major. What can I do? That's the end. Why going back? I mean, I'm reciting here now. But of course, you can play C major. The sound of the C major triad, but use it more as a like a Lydian sound or a Mixolydian sharp 11. Depends a little bit, but to be in E minor. Which is a very rich sound, this Lydian. And you always make sure I'm not in C major, I'm not in C major, no. But you show this color, C major color. Very easily go back to E minor. Yeah. So that's more this approach to get really nice, beautiful, rich colors and also of intonation and different kinds of pentachords, also from other cultures but on the other hand stay more in a tonal gravitational field which is not really changing. Yeah, so that's a concept in a way. I hope it's interesting for you. I hope you understand that, and it would be cool, of course, if you also get really inspired to go for like similar studies and journeys to explore. Yeah, I would be really happy if I can inspire you to open maybe other doors. Yes. So this PDF, I will come back to the PDF because the PDF is really like what this lesson in a way is about. I mean, of course, you got like all this kind of explanation of this concept, but on the PDF you have these pages where you really see immediately which pentachord from the 12-tone equal temperament from our Western system equals a Turkish Maqam version or a version of the Turkish tonal system, and we discussed what it does. It opens the door to the just intonation, doing different intonations, or even to step out of the normal ways of the tonality of the European Western classical music, and more take a look now what that tetrapentachord of that Maqam is actually doing to get more ideas and to open another door and enrich the whole thing. So these pages are really relevant for that. Yeah, that you really, and also you have a comparison with the exact interval names like T, T, B, S, A12, and K. These are the different microtone or comma intervals. T is 9 comma, B is 4 comma, K is 8 comma, S is 5 comma, and A12 is 12 comma. We talked about that in the Turkish tonal system, but there you have a kind of a really comparison of that thing. And also there's this page always assigned to the book of Turkish classical music, which is also like a source here for a lot of stuff, which is an amazing, great book, and you find the name and everything on that page also. So go for the PDF, download that, and yeah. So that's it for the lesson. If you want to support this channel, please go down in the description below on my website. There's a link in the description to my website, huphildenbrand.com, the Guitar Academia page there. There's a button where you can donate. So this would be really cool if you want to support this channel, and I would be really happy also to see that you value this what I'm sharing here with you, the materials and things and ideas. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell button, then you get notifications. Every week a new video will be released. Of course, also supporting takes place when you download the PDF. So this would be always a good thing to do. Like, I mean, think of it as you get a lesson here, kind of a almost free lesson. When you just download the PDF, you give a little bit of like support, and if more people are doing that, I would be really happy, of course. And not only I would be happy if more people are doing that, but everybody counts. So, all right. Thanks. I hope you get inspired here. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. My name is Huphildenbrand.